Greetings everyone, and welcome to another video from the one and only Mr. Button. But anyway, today guys, I have a Battlefront 2 duelist video for you guys. This is basically everything I know, just tips and tricks on how to become better. I've been told I'm really good, and by no means do I admit to that I am not good whatsoever. I mean, I'm not the best, but anyway, for those who have told me I am or want to see some tips and tricks and tutorials for how to do certain things, this is it. So let's hop into it. Alright, so to start off the 1v1 list for things you definitely need to know if you're going to become really good at 1v1ing in Battlefront 2 is the dodge. This is the basis for literally every attack when it comes to 1v1ing, and is basically where every person who's trying to get into 1v1 should start. This is where every attack is derived from. It's super important. Now you can use them to, of course, read your enemy's attacks, so if you're reading someone else's dodges wherever they're dodging, let's say you kind of see your opponent kind of blocking and walking sideways, well, if you can get behind them by dodging behind them or dodging to the side of them, kind of predicting movement, that's ultimately what you're trying to do. So the dodge is very important in that way, and then later it can be used for even more advanced techniques, I guess you could say. But yeah, so it's really important that you learn dodge. I would say this is the first crucial part to becoming a good 1v1 player. The way to get good at this, just 1v1. It takes 1v1. For me, personally, my dodge button is on my right joystick. I think the default's B, if I'm correct. But you can go to settings and change that to your right joystick, which is what I used to look. And that is if you play normal grip, I would definitely do that. Even if you play claw, which I play claw, I still use it on my right joystick, and it helps a ton. So yeah, but just get really good at this. Practice this a lot. Practice using these to predict movement on your enemies, pairing it up with other abilities and attacks. It doesn't take too long. But it's really important to know how to attack with it, and not so much abilities, but getting someone stuck in maybe a dodge trap, which, I mean, for higher level players it's a little hard, but for lower level players it's definitely a lot easier. And all you do for that is just, they dodge one way, attack. They, predict their movement. Or if you see, like your opponent coming towards you, maybe you expect them to dodge towards you so they can get attack on your back, dodge back, and then get an attack on them like that. The only hero I would say to not necessarily do this, because of course different heroes have different playstyles, but the only one I would say that is really kind of left out except basically the hero that's left out in this category is Yoda. I would not do any of this stuff with Yoda. You can dodge an attack with Yoda if you want, but most of every attack I use with Yoda is usually a hook attack, which, there's dodges involved in that, paired up with the hook attacks, and, we're getting shot at. But yeah, really just learn to dodge, like you can attack, dodge behind, hit, and yeah, that's basically what you're focusing on. Alright, so the next thing in your arsenal, I would say the next step to becoming a better 1v1 player is pairing up abilities. This is easy. This goes, like I said, hand in hand with the dodge, which is why I said definitely want to get that down done first. Down done first. Because when you can, dodge and you're used to dodging and attacking, then you can pair this up with abilities, and then this makes your gameplay even more, not even just stylish, but it's a lot better, it's a lot cleaner. Help you finish fights a lot faster, because before you're mainly focusing on blocking. That's another thing I also forgot as well. Real quick, wanted to put this in there. Pairing is a very simple technique. All you do is you block. It's very simple, and immediately, right whenever your enemy attacks, you just click your attack button while still holding your block, and you will parry and take no damage, but attack them instead. So it's a very crucial part. Literally every time you're 1v1ing, always have your block down, especially if you're starting. And for me, it's always the same, especially if I'm 1v1ing like higher level players or really good players. But if it's like your average player, then I mean, sometimes I'll just kind of run around a little bit, do some hook swings, and then I'll block, you know. But that's more, I guess, later on. But if you can do it that way, I mean, by all means. But if you're a new player and you're really trying to get into 1v1ing, I would definitely say always have your block button down. Always, always, always. Keep it down and be ready to parry. Parrying is very important. It's a building block. But yeah, so as I was saying, parrying up your abilities, very important. This is probably the next step, I would say, after dodge attacking. Once you feel pretty confident in dodging and attacking and doing all that, you then get into pairing your abilities with that. So for example, my enemy's here, I'm gonna dodge, and then I can use Obi-Wan's Rush, or dodge. The Obi-Wan doesn't really have the best abilities for that, but dodge, oh, my ability is kind of, but anyway, so you basically, what I'm saying there is you dodge and attack. So yeah, I would say that's probably the next step after getting your dodge down. And then you can pair that up even further. The way I would get good with this is just playing heroes that are pretty easy to do this with. Dooku is obviously great because Dooku is not only good for getting your dodges down if you're really trying to practice that, but also to chain his lightning up with it. You can use that, so dodge behind someone, chain lightning. Rey's really good, dodge, and then the lightsaber, her dash. But really, anybody. There are a few exceptions, like for example, Anakin really doesn't have too many good ones, and that's mainly considering if someone's like sensitivity's fast enough, I mean, they can simply like just block your heroic might or pull or whatever, so it's a little different. You can still do it with Anakin, but yeah, use someone like Luke or, whoever, and just pull that off. But yeah, I would say that's definitely the next step, is pairing that up. So moving on to the next stage, I would say to progressing to a pretty good 1v1 player in Battlefront 2 is hook swinging. Sorry, not pairing. Yeah, hook swinging is probably the next step I would take if you're really trying to improve. And like I said, that's if you've mastered parrying down. You can parry pretty much on time and read people's attacks, dodging, and pairing up abilities with dodges. I would say the next step is hook attacks. Now, for most new players, I know this definitely looks like a very advanced move. It's not. The only reason it looks advanced is because, I mean, I don't know, I would say, it's somewhat advanced. It's not to say that it's not, because, you've had to have made it this far, and you've had to be pretty comfortable with, your movement and whatever, and whatnot. But it's really not that hard to do. It's really not. Now, to do it consistently and actually use it for damage, I would say it's definitely a lot harder. But if you're using this solely as like maybe a fight finisher, like a finisher move on somebody with super low health, they're playing super defensive, they're not hardly attacking, not parrying, they're just backing up, like, this is not, it's not a bad option. And especially when you get that down, if you can get that down, you can start using it for actual attacks, and then that's when your gameplay really excels. Now, I say that, I still do that against average players, but then I try it on, really good players, and it doesn't necessarily work. So it really depends on who you're playing against. If you're playing against someone who's super grounded, hook swings, I would definitely say switch up your playstyle if you really like using hook swings a lot. Like if you're playing against someone who's all about dodging, ground, which there's a lot of good players out there who only stay on the ground, who don't run around, constantly block, parry, but they parry up abilities with dodges. They're just, they're good movement-wise, stamina-wise. So it's not to say that you have to use hook swings to be really good, but it is a good way to get some damage in. And to do it, it's actually really simple. Now, for it, I would definitely advise you have a higher sensitivity. If I go and check my sensitivity right now, my soldier sensitivity is on 65, and my dead zone's at 21. So it's not, it's not too crazy, because, I still use I still use blasters and stuff, and you know, I don't want to, like, some people put it at max, and I mean, you don't have to put it at max. It's really whatever feels comfortable for you. But if you want to be doing some hook swings, I would definitely advise you raise it at least a little bit higher than the default, but not to max. You do not have to go to max, trust me. You can pull these off without being at max. Especially, like, it definitely moves, my screen moves a lot slower than someone at 10 sensitivity. But even so, if I move before I know I'm going to do it, I'm already there for it. And that's basically all it is. You're basically jumping through your opponent, turning around last second, and putting that white little dot on their back. And you're jumping. You're jumping at the same time. You have to be running, jump. And you can hook attack just by like that. I mean, that's a little later. That's once you get the running hook down. But until then, yeah, I would stick to doing that. It's just running, jump. It's a small jump. You basically tap A. You don't even have to hold it down. You just tap it, and then you hit right trigger at the same time, basically, and then turn. It's really simple. You practice this a little bit, and I'm telling you, you will definitely improve. This is where you start to see a lot of improvement in your skill, because like I said, at this point, you have your dodges down, so you can read where someone may be going, dodge behind them, attack. And that's really a big thing. That's honestly where my 1v1 playstyle was really drawn from, was the dodges. Before I got back into the game, was reading other people's movement and just dodging behind them, reading their dodges, where they were going to dodge to, and then dodging behind that dodge, you know, their dodge, and attacking. And that's a really good way. It's a dodge trap, I call it that. But and it's very beneficial. Like I said, good grounded players play like that. I have to play like that sometimes, especially if I'm playing against someone really good who can easily parry hook attacks and combo up abilities against, you know, hooks or whatever. So, yeah, it's a good playstyle, and it's good to know. So like I said, this is definitely going to show a lot more improvement on top of everything you've learned, which is, like I said, dodge attacking, reading, parrying, and then pairing up abilities with dodges. Alright, so next thing we're focusing on is pairing up abilities with a hook attack. It's essentially the same concept, just as before. You're basically jumping through the person and you're using an ability at the same time, which is why I say get the hook swing down first and then go to this. Because if you can do a hook swing, you'll definitely be able to parry up some abilities with this. Honestly, it really doesn't matter which one you actually do first, either way, because both are hooks. But if you can definitely do a hook swing, this should be no problem. And like I said, same thing. All you're doing is turning around and using an ability. It's pretty simple, and some characters definitely have this at more of an advantage, especially someone like Luke Skywalker or you know, Kylo. Kylo's definitely one of them. But really, anybody can do it. Of course, there are some more. But I would definitely say that's the next step to becoming an even better player, is hook abilities. Definitely a super useful skill, and it really doesn't matter which one you learn first. Hook swing or hook abilities, either way, you can use both, and they're going to make you even better. Now for hook abilities, it's a little different. You can go a little different versus the hook swing. Hook swing, the higher you, just in general, no matter if it's a hook ability or a hook swing, the more time you're in the air, the higher you are, the worse. So when you're jumping, like I said, you're literally just tapping the button. Like you're just tapping it. Like you're not holding it down. I know you'll find players who try a hook swing like up here, doesn't work, or even like this, even like that. I mean, even like that. Even like this. I mean, that's not that high. Still high enough to get parried. So that's why I say you're literally only tapping the button. Only tapping it. Because that means less time they can parry your attack in the air, less time they have to read where you're going to land and dodge behind you, and at the same time you're still getting that block breaker off, which is ultimately the goal of that. So if you're really trying to get good and not for show, and get good at hook swings and hook abilities, stay as low to the ground as possible. So yeah, definitely be my next tip. Alright, so moving on to my next tip after the hook ability would definitely be a hook attack plus ability. This is when you really, I know I said like hook swing is when you really start to see some improvements from what you've done before, which at this point, kind of doing a little recap, you should already know how to parry efficiently, dodge efficiently, parry up abilities with dodges, and hook swing as well as hook ability. So this is where we get to next, which is hook plus ability. And this isn't too difficult, it's not too advanced like before, but really all it is, I mean, you guessed it, it's a hook swing and then ability. So, well, that was bad, but yeah, hook swing and then ability. Hook swing. Luke is actually a really good player to do this with. You can do it with anyone. Like I said, it really doesn't matter who. But there are definitely some that are really good with this. Anyone with a rush is really good. So you can parry up a, you know, like if you're really trying to go sicko mode Luke on him, you can just, I don't know why it's doing that, but you can just, I don't know why it's like delaying my rush. Yeah, it's weird. It's being weird. But anyway, yeah, like it's, I'm clicking RB, but it's just not computing that I'm actually doing it. So yeah, you see it, like it's lighting up and it's just not working. But anyway, you get the gist. I'm playing solo supremacy right now, so that could be why. But on normal matches, it should work. So that's basically all you're doing is you're attacking and then parrying up. Yeah, it's like delaying for some reason. I don't think I have any internet issues, but for some reason it's not working. Yeah, that's basically all you're doing is you're just hooking. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Maybe you have to attack in midair or right whenever you land. I don't know. Cause I don't know. When I'm 1v1ing, it just flows. Yeah, like that. See? And then yeah. So basically, it's right whenever you land. I take that back. So right whenever you land off of a hook swing, then you do it. If you tap it before you do a hook swing, it doesn't have time to catch up to you and what you're doing. See, like it did it right there. But then I do it, and then, so yeah. But that's basically all it is. It's just a hook swing plus an ability, and then you can start pairing up abilities with it. Hook swing, rush, hook. So that's basically where you start to see, that's really where you start to see your skills really improving, especially if you can start hitting hooks for actual damage and start leading off fights with it, ending fights with it. If you can get 2 hooks in plus a dash, then a parry, you know, like you'll really start to see some drastic improvements. I'm telling you, if you really practice this, you will. Drastic improvements. And then from there, I would say that's basically it. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah, everyone asking, upload some videos, you're really good at this game. I'm not that good, I'm telling you, I'm really not. I think there's just a few hidden tips that I don't think a lot of people really mention that actually make you way better than just learning mechanics and technique. Well, I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But a few tips, of course, one, which I've already mentioned, higher sensitivity equals more, you can move your camera around more, it's a lot faster combat, so I would definitely say that's one. It's just at least having it higher than the default. It doesn't have to be at 100, it doesn't have to be a whack dead zone where you're moving at the slightest touch of the joystick. I mean, just anything higher than the default is fine. So yeah, I would definitely say sensitivity is one for sure. And then the next tip I would give is calm. Be calm, be cool, be chill. A lot of times people will maybe get hit maybe once or twice in the beginning of the match, and then from there that just knocks their whole vibe off. And then they just get dominated. Because this happens to me. I can relate. It happens to me a lot. Like if someone hits a pretty good attack on me in the beginning, I'm just done. Like I'm done. So always remember, you don't have to keep attacking. You can play defense, especially if you're a very offensive player. depending on who you're using. Like Luke, very offensive, but if you know, okay, my health's, I've been hit twice now, I have permanent damage taken and my stamina's low, back up. You can still block, you can dodge through people, like I said, master the dodge, so if someone's constantly attacking you, you can dodge right through them, turn around, dodge right through them. This is good for dodging any abilities or any hooks that anyone's trying to do. Hooks not so much, especially if it's a really good player. Hooks not so much, but you can definitely dodge abilities with that, just dodging through. So yeah, definitely know you can play defense. Now as for gameplay wise, something that would definitely help on top of sensitivity is intent. This is very important. I don't think I see a lot of people talking about this, but this is intention. Basically it's confidence, but not so much confidence. You always want to have confidence, of course, and like I said, if things go wrong, just be chill about it. If you're playing Hero Showdown, you have 2 more matches or however many more matches, so don't worry. But intention is definitely another one that I would say is really, really big. Essentially, what I mean by intention is look. Wherever you are looking, it tends to be where you're going, and this is true for just about anything, from surfing to driving to dueling in Battlefront 2. Wherever you're looking, chances are that's where you're going to go. So if I'm looking on this roof right here, like on that ledge, that is where I'm going to go. And then, if I'm just looking at my character, like my eyes are, like right now, IRL, my eyes are completely fixed on Luke, and I'm trying to get up there. Well, okay, I did, but it's a habit. You know what I mean, though? Like, I'm looking completely at Luke. Basically, you'll, like, either jump over it, but wherever you're looking is where you go. So if I'm looking at this ledge, that was actually worse than the other two, but, yeah. Just wherever you're looking, chances are that's where you're going to go. Your hands will follow, especially if you have that flow, which is the main thing I would say you're trying to do in almost anything. It's art. It's like it's an artistic expression that I don't know, it just flows. It flows out of you, and it's with anything. I mean, it's with writing, it's with, sports, video games, it doesn't matter. It's a flow state. But to get there, I would definitely say intent. Know where you're looking, and wherever you're looking, your body will kind of just follow. Or another good tip I could give is specifically for video games, especially for EA games. This involves Apex as well, but Battlefront 2 especially, this little white dot you see in the middle of the screen, this is very important. It's there for a reason. It shows where your character's facing and what will affect you and what will not. So if I'm facing this way and someone's to the left or right of me, not in my peripheral vision, or maybe they are, but like a little behind it, I can still be attacked. I can still have an ability used on me, but if I'm facing them, wherever that white dot's facing, I won't get attacked. So that's really important to know. Basically what I'm saying is just focus on that white dot. If you can train your eyes on that white dot, wherever it faces, you will go. So if it's facing your enemy, you go there. This is good for, I don't know, I kind of lock into it, especially if you're getting into like super high speed combat, like with Luke or somebody. I'll just train like completely solely on that white dot, because that kind of lets me know where the middle of my screen is, lets me know where the enemy is, where my opponent is. So yeah, definitely really good. And also I don't even know how to explain it. It's almost like when you're fighting, you'll have a mental image of what's around you. So you'll know, like, okay, my enemy dodged this way, I know where they're at, and you kind of just flow with it. Like, don't even think about it. That's another thing, just don't think. The more you think in a fight, the worse it's gonna be. Unless you really notice, like, okay, you think, okay, I need to take it back. Like I said, you can play defense. It's not forbidden. So if you see your health going down, or you see your stamina out, you have no dodges left, you can't keep up the momentum, back off. You don't have to keep attacking. You're gonna get parried to death, and it's not gonna be good. So yeah, that's when you think. But like I said, for the rest of it, don't think. Just let it flow. Let it come naturally. Which that involves also watching it. Watch a lot of people 1v1. watch it, and subconsciously your body will pick up on it and in turn materialize that and manifest that in your play, in your game. So yeah. But that's basically all I have for you guys today. I hope you really did enjoy. Hopefully these tips helped you out. I will try and make some more tips and whatnot, like more in-depth guides in the future maybe. I don't know. I'll definitely try and upload some more gameplay so you guys have some of that to watch whenever I can. I'm gonna try and upload more consistently. Like I said, more gameplay. Not necessarily Battlefront 2 all the time, but if I can, I'll definitely get that out. And yeah, as for in-depth guides, that's maybe. I basically gave you everything I know in this video right here, but more in-depth guides on how to specifically, if you're like a very mechanical person, get better at it. So I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. That's gonna go ahead and conclude this video. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.